unstoppable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.
Welcome to the DENDAO meeting. It is April the 17th, 2025. I am, for I am, and I am the emperor of the DENDAO. DAO is Decentralized Autonomous Organization, and it is the managing, shall we say, of the decentralized organization of the social media platform called Den.Social, and this is our weekly meeting. Be it that it is, I am the emperor, I set the agenda. However, it's a participation, I can't even speak now, meeting. So if you go to Den.Social, you go into the DENDAO Lair. Layers just means another word for category. That is where the posting is for the the meeting. And in that, you can find the link to join the meeting. The meeting is, cameras are optional if you decide to join, as well as you can post comments. And towards the end of the meeting, I will refresh the screen. If there's any more comments or questions that you have, I can read them and address them on air. Again, this is April 17th, 2025, the DENDAO meeting. Let's take a look at today's agenda. It should be short and sweet, quick. The agenda today is, again, current open governance votes for the DENDAO or for Den.Social, an update on the Dragonchain and the SEC case, recent issues with MTR mining or minting. Again, people have expressed issues with that. Update on video and live streaming talks. I'll talk briefly about that. And then finally, I will look at the open forum and see if there's, community replies or questions, comments that can be addressed here during the meeting. So that is our agenda, the 5 items. So let's go straight into this one, the current open governance of votes. By the way, you can find this on the tab on the right in Den.Social. There's a clickable link called governance, and you click on that. It takes you here in Den.Social. If you click on the little globe here that you see, and it looks like I got Joe joining us here. We'll add Joe. Oh, welcome, Joe.
Hello.
Thank you for joining the meeting. Anyway, so the governance place, like I said, if you click on the little global icon there, you can see everything that's up there. There is nothing that is pressing or a vote for the DIN platform as a whole, but currently there is one vote that is up for a change proposal, which is a decision. What should the themes for month of May, top 5 will be selected. This has to do with, this has to do with the World Blockchain Roundtable show, which is almost 4 years now. We'll soon be celebrating its 4-year mark. And that is just the list of themes. Here, I think I have that pulled up. These are them. And everyone that has lot in this particular area can vote. Which brings me to the next point, kind of an educational moment, the more you know. World Blockchain Roundtable is a show that is presented on X, it's presented on YouTube, and wherever other places it might be streamed onto. But it gives the outside world an interaction ability and a governance to the platform or to the show. So people can vote on topics, themes, can post questions to a panel of experts. And I don't know, Joe, it's like 4 years now that this has been going on like this. It's pretty amazing. I don't think there's anything anywhere close to this in the world. Would you agree?
Yeah. And I mean, it started, we originally started a group, a meetup group, in order to announce the Dragonchain open source from Disney, and we called it Blockchain Seattle, and we ran that for quite a while. It would meet every week in either Seattle or Bellevue, and we I guess we really quickly became the largest blockchain meetup in the country, and because of the way it was set up, it was pretty neat and it was fun. And we would have some meetings where we would have 50 or 100 people at, especially during bull markets.
Wow.
But then when COVID hit, we'd already been kind of slowing down a little bit anyway. But when COVID hit, I talked to the team and we tried to figure out how can we make this more global, right? And get not make it just Seattle. And this is what came of it. And we decided to make it as a DAO, and it worked out.
It's a power. Yeah, it's a great illustration. Just another illustration of a decentralized autonomous organization being in place with a governance system or application, software, whatever you want to call it, which happens to be Den.Social, to be able to manage the votes and manage the show, direct the show, produce the show, essentially, as to like theme and content, questions and answers. And it's fascinating. It's fascinating to watch it evolve, but I think it's just such an amazing illustration of the future. I think more and more, YouTubers, if you will, or content providers are going to start looking for other ways for the audience to interact. And look at that, Den.Social has already been doing this for a while, and successfully. I think it's just amazing. So anyway, on our agenda, we always talk about current open governance votes, and when that popped up today, I thought, you know what, this is a good item to talk about, and how Den.Social has a governance, internal governance for each layer, as well as kind of an umbrella for the entire platform. And it's powerful. It works. Which brings us to item number 2 on the agenda, is the Dragonchain The SEC Case update. Joe, you already had updated that updated us kind of on Super Happy Dragon Lucky. Still kind of in a holding pattern. I know the end of April is kind of a specific date from that 90-day stay or pause, if you will, in the case. When is that coming up again? That's April 27th?
I think it's the 28th. It's about a week away, right? So
see what happens. Could be big news. In the meantime, it's still not too late. Get something posted. Post on X. Post on other social media sites. Let the SEC know that what you think, what we believe has been lawfare, against Dragonchain. If you don't know what to say, or need help writing a post or a letter or an email or whatever, you can go here to this link here in the Dragonchain. I searched, it's real simple. Go to the Dragonchain Lair and search call to action. And this post will come up and you'll see the dragon on top of a pillar. And right here, go talk to Lucius and generate a comment or post. So we need to heighten the buzz, the awareness to the SEC that there's people out there that have been wronged by this lawfare. And we get SEC off of Dragonchain's back. That will help significantly for Den.Social. So
yes.
So denizens, do your part. Next item on the agenda. Joe, did you have anything else to add to that?
Nope, that was exactly right. We just want to keep the buzz up, and in the background, we are trying to get all of the things ready so that once we are released, then we can we can take the many things and announce them, and some of them will be able to turn on, some of them will be able to actually release. So it'd be good.
Good. Thank you. And again, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay, recent issues with MTR minting. Again, some people had expressed concerns that maybe it wasn't minting correctly, or I haven't seen an issue since it had been resolved. And I haven't seen more people keep mentioning it in the support layer. So I'm assuming it has been resolved and was resolved correctly the last time it was brought up. And I think there have been more denizens that would have been mentioning this if it was still an ongoing problem or issue. Do you know of any other comments about that, Joe? Or
Nope. Other than to say why it was happening, I guess there are two things. It was happening because the one, because it's interchain, so you have the chain that's is Den, and then of course Ethereum, where those tokens are actually minted, and then that there was at least the one issue where the tokens on Ethereum weren't being minted, and it was because we were hitting a third party that was hosting the Ethereum side of things, and either the library was out of sync or something, and so we switched over to use Rivet, which I wish we would have been using all along anyway. We just hadn't ever had the chance to turn that around, so we did that. And because we all know Greg from Roundtable, and Rivet is it's a good service. It's a good product. They have excellent tech, and with Greg and Austin and their whole team. So I was happy to finally switch over to that. We're using them for Dracaria too.
good.
And then on the internal, I think the internal, and I might be speaking wrong here, but I think it was having issues because of the external. That I think it was looking to the external to make the internal happen, but I don't remember in all truth. But there is the interesting thing about the Matter contract that anyone can call it at any time. If you remember, we used to call it every day, so it would do the actual minting on Ethereum every day. And we decided when Ethereum fees were up so high, we cut that to every 7 days. But the nice thing is the contract will only make as many as it is allowed to make, given the amount of time that's passed since the last time it was called. So you could call it every 3 days and it would print 3,000, or you could call it every 30 days and it would print 30,000 new Matter, and anybody can call it. So they are minted into DENDAO's multisig, so anybody can call it. You don't need to have any special account to call it. So it's an interesting thing anyway.
Well, currently there's 1.907 million Matter tokens.
Wow.
So we're at 1,000 each day. We're clicking up. So and anyone can go to Etherscan and look up the token, Matter MTR. You probably want to search it best by using the contract number or ID. However, having said that, something that I watch for is that total max supply of Matter. And if that has been stagnant for too long, then I know that then the payouts aren't happening correctly, and that's only happened a couple of times, I think. So that's where it's at right now. I thought I would share that with with everybody as I'm pulling it up here on the screen. Let's take a look at one other thing. And yeah. Okay. So that hand, I think it is correct. It's working correctly. I'll keep monitoring this myself. And the last posting that was of a concern for minting of matter from a user was on the 11th. So that was 7 days ago, or 10th.
Okay.
So MTR payout problem is what their concern was. And someone had posted that it's been reported to DIN support. So on the 11th. So, this is one of those things where, an API, if down the road we could have this, or a, what's the word I want? A dashboard that would see, like, biggest user or biggest winning earnings minting, content providers, maybe the top 5, top 10, whatever. Something. It's been a leaderboard has been in the talks and design all along. It's just a matter of resources.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next item, number 4 is let me come back here on is the update on video live streaming and talks, ongoing discussions about creating a white paper and selling it and getting investors. And that's all I can say is it's just ongoing at this point in time. Imagine, if you will, let me jump over here. Imagine this tab right here where it says add video. Instead of having add video that is only YouTube, imagine if we had the capability of live streaming on the site or something like that, or the ability to post your own videos. So it had its own video player, if you will. So that's what we're talking about, because so many social media sites now are really video based. Think of TikTok and how it has exploded in growth and size and movement, as well as, of course, YouTube, and it's the behemoth in the world as far as video streaming. And of course, there's many others, Rumble and BitChute, DLive, many others. But none of them have what DIN has the capability of. No master controlling the herd or the narrative or political viewpoint and censorship. And Den.Social being, almost decentralized, could become a valuable tool and resource for a lot of people, or people who have been canceled. And we have an amazing opportunity here. And I think we've captured the attention of several that might have means to want to invest in this development and get us going. So that's really all I can say right now at this point. Joe, you and I have been working on this with some others. Do you have anything else that we'd like to mention here on this topic?
I mean, I mentioned it this morning that we might release the draft white paper after the SEC case is dropped, so that it can get some much needed attention, right? And it would be, in advance of, and I guess for the purpose of getting feedback, once we have all of the ideas documented and, changes and formulas and things like that, because, we will need feedback anyway. We're going to have to have a DENDAO vote if we want to go forward with it. And that'll be, I guess one of the instigators, and mostly timing, because we'll get some extra attention at that time.
Right.
So.
Right. No, I agree. Good. Thanks. Last but not least is open forum. Are there items to be discussed or community replies? So let me go ahead and hit refresh here and scroll down. And no, there is not at this time. So I think that concludes today's meeting, Joe. If there's any other items that you want to mention or bring
Nope,
up.
yeah, no comments. No comments.
Okay.
I think I don't have anything special today other than we have a lot of work to do. So
yeah, I knew it was going to be brief, but I'm going to close with the last item that I brought up in World Blockchain Roundtable at the end. And my question that I had posted to you was, just imagine the idea if you could have ownership in a subreddit, or imagine if you could have ownership in your favorite YouTuber's channel. That's essentially what Den.Social is with the lot ownership in a layer. So imagine if we coupled that and create a live streaming or video content and people could have ownership in something like that. I think it ties the content creator and the community much closer, because now they're partners in growth, in the facilitation of the message or the content that person or people are providing on the channel. So I think it's got an amazing potential. Potential. So there you go. Without any centralized control or political narrative that's trying to be pushed. So it's amazing. An amazing opportunity. All right. Well, that concludes the meeting today. So I think let's go out with the roles of a denizen. Joe, you got anything last?
Nope, I'm good. Yeah, thanks
right.
So much. Thanks.
No, thank you. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks everybody for watching and are catching up with us later. Make sure you like and share and subscribe, whatever, to the channel you're watching this on, and make sure too that you follow Den.Social on YouTube and on X and on Telegram, because we got to show those numbers growth. And those numbers need to grow as well to capture attention for maybe an investor for the streaming capabilities that we're just talked about. All right. So do your part. Thanks so much, denizens. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
Roles of a denizen. A content creator is a user that creates posts and is rewarded based on the quality of their content. A content evaluator is a user that helps assess the quality of content and enforces community standards. The evaluator is effectively taking part in a marketplace to curate content and is rewarded for early evaluation. A content consumer is a user that wishes to find and consume the most valuable content in a given subject area or within a community. A lair owner is a person holding tokenized ownership of all or part of a community lair. Owners are rewarded with a portion of all mining activity happening within their lair. Owners are incentivized to build the best community of content creators and evaluators.